There is something special about a child whose life has been transformed. They have an extra spring in their step, a smile on their face, and a song in their heart. This is especially true for children who have a disability in countries like India and have been given the opportunity of education and a saving knowledge of Jesus. Child Impact International is giving deaf children these two very important things.
The deaf school is located in Colligal, which is a sort of a country town about a 2-hour drive south of Bangalore. And if you get up early enough, you can get there in 2 hours, but in thick traffic, it can be a 3-hour drive. The thing that stood out to me at the deaf school was just how happy the kids were, because they're suddenly in a group of children that they can communicate with. When they're back in the village, no one understands them. No one understands sign language. And when they get to the school, suddenly they're not only getting an education, but they're learning how to communicate. And that's such a huge thing that we're not really used to. And then they communicate with each other. And just to see them interacting, to see them being educated, and to see them playing together really is impressive. And they're really, really happy.
The Colligal School for the Speech and Hearing Impaired is located in a rural setting in Karnataka, India. It has a wonderful campus with over 100 students, but it did not begin on such a grand scale.
For the starting of our deaf school, we came to know that there was a school for deaf children that was being closed. It was being run by another organisation, and the lady that was working with me in the sponsorship program in India, her husband was living in the area where the school was. And so we felt that it was a real tragedy to think that these children were just being left with, with no education possibilities. And so for the first year, we just rented a building, and we had a little auto that used to go and pick up the children. And then we had some of them living in that small building also.
In 2002, after many years of renting, a school was constructed for them. This school provides food, boarding, and an education. It is also a beacon of hope to many deaf children, since it is located in a poor, rural area where it's hard to get an education, especially if you are deaf.
The deaf school is managed and owned by the church, but Child Impact International provides all the sponsorship and all the funding for the school. And one positive thing about this school is the excellent, strong leadership we have in the couple that run it. Jacob and Shiny both understand sign language, and Jacob gives strong leadership as the principal, and Shiny is involved in all aspects of the school. And I just really appreciate the commitment that they have to the school along with their staff.
This school established in this place has been really a blessing to many. In that regards, I would like to say that there are many children here who are from very poor background, and if it is not for this school, they would have been back at home doing some odd jobs. This school has become a blessing for many children and for the parents, because they are here having a good education, having good shelter, and above all they are forming a good character, to be kind, to be sharing, and they feel like a family here because all the children are here of their same kind. So they are like brotherly, sisterly kind here. And there are many other children who have finished their studies and they are standing on their own feet, and they are a good example for these children. They look up to them and they have dreams, and they have hope that their dreams will be fulfilled one day.
Without this school for the deaf, there would be very little hope for these children. Those who are deaf are treated very poorly because deafness is considered a curse. Some families will try to hide the fact that their child is deaf. Sometimes fathers will leave their families because they don't want the shame of being the father to a deaf child.
Advit's mother came here with a hopeful heart. But when we started talking to the mother, we realized that Advit was born deaf, and as soon as the father has come to know that the boy has born deaf, the father did not want to stay with the mother because they consider this as a curse upon them. So the father was insisting the mother to leave the boy in an orphan or leave him and then come. But the mother, having so much of love for the son, she could not do what the husband asked her to do. Rather, she decided in her heart that she will stay with the son, give him a bright future. So she parted ways from her husband. She stays alone now to support Advit, and in a community like where she stays, it's very hard to survive alone. She can be misused by other men. She can face a lot of difficulties. To go and get a job itself is very hard for her. And she is very smart. She has masters. She has done her college. But now to go and find a job, and she has to go to the court as well as to attend the case. So people are not so happy to give her leave on a working day. She's finding it so hard. But this school has given her a hope to give an education for Advit. So with so much of difficulties, she still puts a cheerful face so that her boy in turn can be happy.
It is hard to imagine the difficult situation that Adved's mother was in. In India, there aren't any special programs to help single mothers. That situation alone is very difficult, but adding in a disabled child makes the situation almost impossible. Thankfully, Adved's mother had the opportunity to enroll him into Child Impact's School for the Deaf, where he settled into his new environment quickly.
After the mother left Advit in the hostel, and when she left, me and Jacob were looking at the boy, so small, just 3.5 years old, and we were like wondering how this boy is going to stay here. He's so small. Will he be able to stay away from his mother? Will he be able to cope with the other children? But he surprised us. He did not cry. He was, the way he conducted himself, it's like he understood the difficulties of his mother and he was ready to cope up with the other children. He was happy, he was smiling, he did not cry. He ate his food, he went to his bed, and morning he was awake. He was perfectly fine with the other children.
Adved's story is just one out of hundreds of children who have had their lives dramatically changed for the better because of this school. They not only receive an education and valuable life skills, but also room and board. Even though the school provides these children with many opportunities, the greatest opportunity of all is a saving relationship with Jesus Christ.
You know, we have children, 99% of Hindu children, and the remaining one is the Muslim kids. We have only 2 Muslim children, and they are here. When they come, they know nothing about Jesus, they know nothing about Bible, but after they come here, they learn so many things. They have morning worship, they have evening worship, they have song service, they learn many songs, they take up the prayer. Sometimes they volunteer themselves saying like, we want to tell a story. And of course we have Sabbath services where they learn many more about Bible. And now I can say some of the older children, they know more Bible stories and they believe in Jesus. Their belief is more than we. Sometimes we tend to fail somewhere when we get temptations or when we get trouble. We sometimes go low and then get our faith back and then stand. But these children, they put their trust completely on Jesus. You should see their prayer. You should really see their prayer. When they pray, it's a sincere, honest prayer. And we have seen answers for their prayer. It's incredible.
It's amazing to see just a tiny amount of the work that Child Impact's School for the Deaf has done and is doing. They have given bright futures to hundreds of children who otherwise would not have been able to receive an education and live a meaningful life.
To me, it's just wonderful to be able to do something for children like the blind and the deaf, to give them an opportunity to do something special with their lives for God. and an opportunity that, you know, coming from the villages and that they definitely would never have had without the fact that our schools have been built and sponsorship provided so that the children can attend.
Without the generous support of sponsors like you, none of this would be possible. These children would have no hope for the future, but you have given them hope. Thank you for your support.
At the Deaf School, Child Impact has some great plans. The school needs a new boys' dormitory. New government requirements means that we have to have separate buildings for the boys and girls, and so Child Impact is very committed to the future of the Deaf School and also wants to start a major project building a new boys' dormitory.
Hello, I'm Tom Evans, CEO of Child Impact International. That was an amazing program we've just watched about the deaf school in India. This school gives so many children from very poor backgrounds such amazing hope. The program clearly showed that this not only impacts the life of the child and their education, but it gives their families hope that there's a bright future for their child. I was also impressed with the staff of the deaf school and the spiritual input that they give to these children. Child Impact International is very excited that with your partnership and working together with the church, we can fund those that have special needs in this school. We do need support for our special needs school and invite you to support our Blind, Deaf, and Orphan Fund. By doing so, you can help the children talked about in this program. Please go to the website childimpact.org. That's childimpact.org. And be sure to donate to the Blind, Deaf, and Orphan Fund. Thank you so much for your generosity. Hi there. Before you go, I'd like to invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'd also like to encourage you to watch some of our other videos highlighting Child Impact's work for at-risk and marginalized children.